Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Zoey and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Zoey's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give the correction, and the only correction that we give here at school is a tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Zoey is going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, she is sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that they're going to demonstrate for us is heeling. Heeling is proper walking on a leash, and the command is Zoey heel. And Zoey is doing a great job of maintaining pace with Fred. That's what she is supposed to do. Her shoulders should not pass her left leg, his left leg, I'm sorry, and she should always maintain his pace. And when he stops, she's been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. And she has done this heeling exercise with other dogs around her, so she's able to control herself when she's around other dogs. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. Your long sit-stay when you're practicing at home, and practice indoors as well as outdoors, is for 1 minute, working all the way up to 3 minutes, so that you can continue her training when she gets home. When Fred returns back to her, he walks all the way counterclockwise around her back to where they started, where her shoulders are even with her left leg, and at that point she expects to get another command, and they take off heeling again. When you stop your feet to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she should be sitting nicely. She shouldn't be pulling you, dragging you, jumping on the person that you're talking to. She should be sitting nicely and waiting for her next command, and Fred leaves her in another sit-stay. And again, you should practice these exercises everywhere that you go. She knows that her training equipment and the commands mean that you expect good behavior. Now, this time, instead of returning back to her, Fred's going to demonstrate the come on command. The command is Zoey come, and she comes and sits right in front facing your knees, and then she goes back to heel position. So I think that with the amount of training that she's had while she's been here and the exposure to other dogs on a daily basis, that you won't have any problem controlling her in most any and all situations. Fred leaves her in another sit-stay, and he's going to demonstrate that come on command again. He uses her name, calls her in. She sits, so no more coming and jumping. She has to come and sit. And everything in obedience training is about maturing the dog, teaching them self-control, focus, the ability to pay attention. It's much like sending a child to school, to a certain level of maturity and knowing that you're in charge. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a heel position. So with the dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down and stay. The long down stay when you're practicing at home is for 1 minute, working slowly up to 5 minutes. And you're going to lengthen out the time and the distance. When Fred returns back to her, he walks all the way around her, just as he did on the sit-stay. As an additional distraction, returns to heel, and then she expects to get another command, and he told her Zoey heel. So don't forget to use your commands, use your words that she has become familiar with, so that she has that continuity. Now again, Fred's going to put her into a down and stay. You're trying to get your video in today before it started raining, and I think we're going to be able to do it. This time Fred will call her out of that down stay. She comes right in front and sits. Beautifully done. And she goes back to heel. And the very last exercise that we're going to be demonstrating for you is her ability to lay down from a distance. This is a harder exercise because you're not standing right next to her. So Fred leaves her in a sit stay. He turns to face her. And again, you're going to lengthen out the distance. He's going to use his right hand to give the command. And she goes into a down from a distance. And then if she crawls into you like that, you can give her another stay and back up. Now, I think she's done a great job of demonstrating all of her formal on-leash obedience commands. Please know that she has done these commands with other dogs present, but on the day of videoing, we want it to be all about her. She's a really good girl. She's come a long way. We've enjoyed having her, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.